Hello, brothers and sisters. This is Pastor Ikonah, and I'm here with another study. This is a Bible study. It has to do with God proving Israel, and this can be found in Judges 1 through 24, and also the fourth chapter of Judges. Starts with Judges. I think I'm gonna have to wear my manly glasses here because I picked up the wrong glasses when I went to buy glasses. But these are the ones that, no, I'm not gonna wear these. Let me see if I can find another pair. Glasses. I have the hardest time keeping up with my glasses. Might have to wear them anyway. Oh well, I might have to wear them anyway. They're just men's glasses. I realized after I got them home. They're not really women's glasses, but I have, two more pairs of glasses that I can wear, and they're hiding from me. Just hiding from me. These are the ones I wear when I really want to see everything. So, and I do today because I'm having some issues here. So, before I got ready to do this, I was taking my medicine, and I took 2 of everything. One for, sciatica, pain in the leg, and also one for, it's just Excedrin. But the problem is, if you take 2, that's 500 each. So I took 1,000 units to keep the pain away so I could do this. And then I waited too long, so now it's starting to, work on me. It's been about almost 2 hours, I guess, maybe. And it's starting to work on me, so I've got to hurry up and get this done. This is not very long, only 2 pages, but I got to expound on it also. So this is a Bible study in Judges 3, and it goes through chapter 4 also. But not all of chapter 4, but basically, you'll see. All right, so around 1425 BC, the children of Israel who went over to Canaan with Joshua did not know how to war God's way. And you know how to war God's way, right? How many yays do I get? Okay, they were very carnal, just like the people are today, and they knew how to use their weapons. Well, we have the guys who are in the gangs and everything. They know how to use the weapons. And also the guys that went overseas to fight for wars for the Americans. Yeah. And so they know how to use their weapons. But God wanted them to use the sword. That's more effective. Even though it doesn't seem logical, but that is more effective, to use the sword. You get more done with that, actually, just praying on your knees. Yes, because God does the work. You don't have to do the work. You just pray. That's easy. Okay? Now, they didn't know the things of God. They only knew how to fight carnally. So God decided to teach the children of Israel how to war. He did this that they may know, because they knew nothing of it. And he sent 5 lords from Philistines and all the Canaanites and the Sidonians, and the, what is that? I know how to pronounce this. This is this medication taking over. Hittites. Hivites. Hivites. Okay? And they married their daughters and gave their daughters to their sons. And the problem is, God never wanted them to marry outside of their tribe. Because of this, they began to worship other gods, and they were serving other gods like Balaam in the groves. And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of God, and they forgot the Lord their God. The Lord was hot with anger against them. And the problem is, they were in friendship with the world. This only causes the Christians to yield toward the worldly. And he cannot make the worldly more godly. He just can't. They'll make you ungodly. So he sold them into the hands of Krishan Rastithayan. I can't say that last part. The king of the Macedonia. And they served him for 8 years. When the children of Israel cried out to the Lord, he answered by sending a deliverer. They were delivered by the son of Kenaz, Othniel. He was Caleb's younger brother. He warred with the king of Mesopotamia and freed the Israelites. God was with him, and he prevailed. He became the judge of Israel, and they had rest for 40 years, and Othniel died. Now, Judges 3:12, that's when Israel began, Israel again, they started to go into that same mode of evil in the sight of God and did everything they wanted to do, just like they're doing today. Yes, you think we would have, learned our lessons, but we're still doing the same old stuff. There's nothing new under the sun. And because of their apostasy, the Lord strengthened Eglon, a heathen, the king of Moab, and he came against Israel with the children of Ammon and Amalek, and fought against Israel and shook the city of palm trees. This was the city of Jericho. So they were in bondage again for 18 years. The children of Israel cried out unto the Lord, and the Lord raised up a deliverer, Ehud, the son of Gera. He was a Benjamite who was left-handed, and was also, he was able to send a present to Eglon, who was the king of Moab. Now he made a dagger which was two-edged, and it was a cubit in length, which is about 1.5 feet, a little over 1.5 feet. And Ehud sent a present to the king and went to visit him. And he presented the present and said, I have a message for you. He arose out of his seat, and he was very grieved because there were many graven images all around and all about him. And then he pulled out his dagger and stabbed the king in his big, large belly, because he was a very fat man. And the king was on his summer porch and fell over on the floor. And Ehud went out and locked the door, and the servants didn't want to bother him because it was his private porch. And hours later, they discovered his body dead. And, but Ehud had already gone back to Gilgal. I have a hard time because I took these medications for pain, so it's really messing me up. But anyway, he escaped to Sierra and blew the trumpet in the mountain of Ephraim. The children of Israel came down from the mount, and he said, follow me. The Lord has delivered our enemies, the Moabites, into your hand. He added, suffer not a man to cross over. They killed about 10,000 men, all lusty and all were valor. None escaped. There was a man named Shamgar, who was the son of Anath. He killed 600 Philistines. He only had an ox guard. He delivered Israel once again, and this time from the Philistines. Now, once again, Israel did evil in the sight of God again. Ehud had already died, so he couldn't help him. And the Lord sold them to the king Jabin, the king of Canaan, and he reigned in Harzar. Sisera was the captain of the host who dwelled in Harosheth of the Gentiles. So the Israelites cried unto the Lord again, and this is where Deborah, a prophetess, the wife of Lapidot, emerges as the judge of Israel. In Judges 4:6-8, the Lord commanded Barak to go, But let's read that and see what he says. Okay? And she sent and called Barak, the son of Abinoam, out of Kadesh Naphtali, and said unto him, Has not the Lord of God of Israel commanded, saying, Go and draw toward the Tabor by Mount Tabor, and take with thee 10,000 men of the children of Naphtali, and of the children of Zebulun, and I will draw unto thee to the river of Kishon Sisera, the captain of Jabin's army, with his chariots and his multitude, and I will deliver him into thine hand. And Barak said unto her, If thou wilt go with me, then I will go. But if thou wilt not go with me, then I will not go. You know the story. She had to go to war with Barak to Kadesh, and it seems he was scared and needed her for support. And he did not believe in the word of God. He didn't have the faith. That's what it was. So she went to with Barak, the son of Abaniah, out of Kadesh Naphtali, with 10,000 men at his feet, and Deborah went with him. He pursued after the chariots of Sisera, fell upon the edge of the sword, and he spared none. Now, I want to let you know Sisera ran on foot to the house of Jael, the wife of Heber, the Canaanite. And he asked for water, and she gave him some milk. Then he fell asleep while she was to be the lookout at the tent's door. But Jael picked up the nail that was really a tent nail, real big one, you know. And she put his head to the ground. She nailed his head to the ground is what it was. And it seems the women sealed the victory there. And Caesarea brought down by a woman. And Barak had to have a woman, Deborah, with him to do what God told him to do. Selah. Now, you know, that should give you a thought now, because we know that most men cannot get along without women. You know, I mean, they can work and everything, but they'll go, you know, partying too much or womanizing too much or doing something that is not very convenient for them. You know, it doesn't help them get to heaven. It doesn't help them to be whole or anything. But they run away from being married, but actually God didn't intend for men to be alone. But men still run away from women, and especially strong women. And I don't know what they would do with a weak woman. She'd be very needy. You know, that doesn't make sense. But that's the way they are, you know. Now, before I forget, I want to tell you that I really need you to, you know, just give me a thumbs up. And also to check in, you know, with my, you know, by subscribing. I want you to subscribe to this, you know, show, because I want you to, you know, let me know that you really like what I'm doing here. I'm really, right now, I got out of the hospital about 6 weeks ago, I guess. And I said I was going to start back doing my work, you know, here. And I'm having a hard time because I have to take my medicine. And so it's causing me to stumble around with words and stuff and everything. But just forgive me. You know, I hope you can understand. But I would like you to like and subscribe me. And I thank you for that. That's what I had not said for a year. You know, almost a year now. October. This is October, so it's a year, yeah. And I don't know if I would be able to be monetized because I didn't do that. And so I started out on Twitter and The other one, anyway, I can't remember what it is. But I started out on the other social medias, but it got to be too much because I started having too much pain, because I had hip problem and back problem. So it was from falls. So I had too much pain, so I couldn't do it anymore. So I had to, go ahead and get my surgery and get out of it. I just got out of the hospital around the middle of September. That was just last month. Wow. And so I'm doing pretty good, though. I came through it really well. Everything was really well with that, and I am really healing. I thank all of you that prayed for me. Now, if you could pray for me to get off this medicine and not have to have pain anymore, I would appreciate it. Because I'm so tired of this, I don't know what to do. But I have to take the medicine because if I don't, I can't get up in the morning. And I don't have anybody to get me up. So I better get up myself. So anyway, that's just a sidebar. So anyway, if you could do that, I appreciate it. If you feel led to do it, it's up to you, But I hope you enjoyed this. But the thing is that our men are going to have to step up to the plate because they all have not. Some of them have, and they're doing what they're supposed to do, but there are a lot of them still they're not doing it. And another thing, too, for all of us that have come over, well, not us that came over, but our ancestors came over on the boats, with the true Israelites, true Israelites. There are some others that have been, I guess you would say, what do you call it when, like, you're doing a plant and you put a leaf there and you tie it up and it becomes one, come into the fold, so to speak. I forget what they call that, but they have been I forget the name of that. But anyway, this is another problem with the medication. But you know what I'm talking about. Grafted in. They were grafted in. That's what you got in Israel, I think. Because what had happened is some of the Israelites had gone up to the place right there in between USSR and Turkey. And they had gone to this little place in the middle there between the two countries. It was Caesarea. And they taught the people that are in Israel right now, they taught their ancestors, our religion. And so they became Jews. That's what happened. And so that's why they're claiming the land, because we're not there. But we got to come back, but it won't be until probably after Jesus comes back, and bring us back there when they have the millennium. But we're the true blood Israelites. And we're called Hebrews, we're called Israelites, that's what we're called. So some of the people are there now that are my color, but they're from they're descendants of David, I believe it is, isn't it? I think not David, his sons, Solomon's people. Yeah, they come from Solomon's seed. That's why they are engrafted in too. And so I don't know if you call that ingraft, but I guess it is kind of like that, But that's what happened. But the ones the Israelites that were there initially were the Hebrews, the one that spoke Hebrew, the ones that we were in the land. That was our land, but people kept coming there and chasing us away. They thought that we did have a beautiful land though, because we know how to do things, and I guess they got jealous. And the same thing when we ran away to another country. Somebody went down in Africa, and then they got jealous of us. I said, what's going on? Because we knew how to do things. Everyone had a craft, and they knew how to put the stuff together. And so that's the one thing that they liked about us, why they used us as slaves too. Why would you want somebody that can't do nothing? So that's probably what got us in that situation too. So everybody wanted us for slaves. I mean, I realized in this particular lesson is that we were slaves so many times. I think I had about 5 or 6 situations here in this study, but there were more, of course, because we were in Egypt, and then we came here, and there were a few more places like. Well, I think we did talk about Nebuchadnezzar, but no, did we? Yeah, I think he was in one of them. But anyway, I'm not sure. But I know Nebuchadnezzar was one that came and got us out of the northern. I think I did mention that here. And who else? We've been slaves to so many people. And I know that we were slaves to the Syrians, the people that Hillary brought here. And then in another century or so, or something like that, they were our slaves. So, we returned the favor. That's the only place I saw that. But anyway, now we're going into the millennium, and I guess, I don't know what you would call them, slaves or not, that God will have for us, but I know we will have people helping, because I know that he was talking about the people that who came in late, something like that. So there is a perk for coming in on the first lift, for sure. And I don't think they have 2 lifts, but, I don't know how he's going to do that, because I guess he has to, because, I don't know. I really don't know. I haven't found any justification for a second lift. But I know the 2 men, they're going to finish though. So whoever's coming in would be coming in if, the 2 guys that were sent from heaven to come and preach on the earth, and then they shot him dead, or what? I think they shot him dead. I mean, that's what happened. And they laid there in the street for 3 days, I think. And then they rose up, and they were sent from heaven. I mean, it seems like to me, everyone that is good, the devil wants to kill. Think about that a minute. People will try to kill you. I know, because they tried to kill me. I had so many car accidents. I used to race car drive. I used to race cars all over the place in Texas. And, I know how to drive. But what happened is I had 30 accidents where they would hit me on this side, on the driver's side. Had one that came from here, diagonal. And most of them on the driver's side, though. Then one from the back that was, it was horrible. It was a big truck. And then I had a lot of, I started going over curves. They saw me going over curves, so they started praying, I guess, so every curve you see, you're going to go over it. I'm turning and I'm going, boom, It was horrible. It's kind of funny, but it's not, that's not right, but that's what was happening. And I haven't done it in time, lately anyway, but I have prayed over my car. If you are a Christian and if you're walking right, if you're righteous, you better pray over your car before you drive. Because the enemy is looking for a way to hurt you and, kill, steal, and destroy. And if you think the enemy is not trying to kill you, you got another thought coming. That is his job. So whatever it is that's harassing you in your house, he is not there just to harass you. He is there to kill you. So you got to be on your job. Pray without ceasing. Cast him out. Get on fire for God. Make sure you have a personal relationship with him. Make sure you know your true purpose. Not what somebody told you, but what God told you. and ask him what he wants you to do next. And listen and do it. Stop, going by what somebody else says just because they say you do this good and all that, and you should be here, whatever. No, you listen to God, whatever God says. And if God says you are a prophet or pastor or whatever, that's what you are. Don't let nobody tell you that you're something different than what God says you are, because in the end, it's what God says, not what a man says. No man can make you what you are. They might put you in a position and put a tag on you that says pastor. Or they might put a tag on that saying that you're an evangelist. And you won't be no more evangelist than a dog can. Everybody's not an evangelist just because you go through a ministry class. Everybody has different callings. And you need to find out what your calling is. Don't be going around trying to be like everybody else. Like that's the only thing that people could be as an evangelist. And make sure that you're a pastor or whatever else, that you're in the office of a prophet. That you're a healing and deliverance minister. And if you are, make sure you get adequate training, because you can do like I did, put your hand on somebody and that demon will jump on you. Yeah, you could have cast them out, but you don't put your hand on them. That demon jump on you, and then you got to go back and get this thing off of you. So, Lord have mercy. That was an experience for me. But I'm glad I got it early, so I know you don't put your hands on no one quickly. And especially somebody you casting a demon out. If you can't speak to that demon come out, you don't need to put your hand on them. You don't need to put your hands on them. You just speak to it and tell it to come out of them in the name of Jesus. Oh boy. There's so many lessons to be learned, and God will lead you to those testings. So you can learn what to do in a situation. So when you get up in the limelight, you won't make a mistake. But you're going to make a lot of mistakes down here before you reach that point. And you have to learn people and how they react, and, what to do and what not to do. You might want to fight. No, I'm just kidding. You might, sometimes you have, people do stuff to you and you just look at them like, why are you doing this? Do you know who you're talking to? I'm just saved yesterday. No, I'm just kidding. But, what I'm trying to say is that sometimes people overstep their what they're supposed to be doing. I guess you could say overstep their authority. Yeah. And then they instruct people to come after you and all that, because they are, usually a witch or a warlock, and unfortunately they're not only in the pews. And so they set up giving orders to minions, those that have no authority, but they are given authority by this one person that's full of demons sitting in the pulpit. And so they all follow him as if he's God, or she. It doesn't have to be a man. And they end up, going the same way they go. And it's very hot in hell. It has not changed. It's hotter than the sun. I mean, almost twice the heat of sun. And you know, sun is going to be very hot. Yeah, it's like molten lava all the time. So people don't realize that, And I don't even think that half the people know that hell is true, a true place, that's real. I don't think they really realize that. Because if they did, they wouldn't do some of the things they do. And I know even when I was not back in, I didn't think about hell that much. I just knew that because of my teachings that I was not supposed to be doing some of the things I was doing, So I always had that little voice in the back, nah, not this, just walk away, don't even, like that kind of thing. So I think a lot of people in the church, are hurting today, not only because of, finances and being able to buy a dress. They're hurting because the way they raised, the things they had to overcome. I'm a sociologist, I have minor psych, so I know some things. And I can't say that I'm perfect at it, but I know a lot of things. I said some, but I mean a lot. I know a lot of things. And I went into sociology because I wanted to understand my own family. And that's the truth, I was trying to figure out why they were acting the way they were, So that's why I went into that. And also because I was going to be a nurse at first. I was going to nursing school to be an RN my last year, yeah. Getting ready to go into my last year. And so I had a really bad car accident. And I think that was the breaking point for my marriage, my last marriage. How some things happen to you and it just you're able to see some things then. And so I think that's what was the breaking point. So, oh boy, why did I go there? I know somebody needs to hear that. Sometimes you have bad situations happen to you because, God's trying to reroute you to a different way. And at that time, that's why I went into sociology. And at that time, I didn't know I was going to go into psychology also at the same time. I could have had a double degree. I was only 6.6, what do you call it? I needed 2 classes to have a double degree. So I didn't want to do it because I knew if I got that psychology degree, I would be in an office somewhere sitting up, listening to people's problems every day, day in and day out. I could not do it. I had already been with crazies. I didn't want to go no more. So, but I learned a lot, And I was able to get all kinds of jobs that most people wouldn't get with my sociology degree. If I had gotten, there are 2 things that I tried to do that I probably would have messed myself up. One thing is to go to school for social work. Social work is just social work. You be doing that. I already had been doing that, going out to people's houses and being a caseworker. I had already done that for 10 years, so why would I want to do that the rest of my life? Not. And so the way that happened where I didn't go that way, that was a reroute too. I had to give a paper to my